Hello. I hope this finds you well, taking good care of yourself, good care of those around you, and good care of those you interact with. Right now, we need to take good care of ourselves and good care of each other. Today, I was reflecting on what I might share that could be helpful. And in seeking some inspiration, I actually opened my first book, The Wisdom of a Meaningful Life. And the first paragraph gave me some inspiration, so I thought I would read that and share a bit about it. It starts with a quote by Eric Hoffer. The search for happiness is one of the chief sources of unhappiness. It is a universal truth that all beings seek happiness and try to avoid suffering. This is a primary and fundamental motivation for all of us. Yet, more often than not, genuine happiness eludes us while suffering, anxiety, stress, worry, depression, fear, well, those can pervade our lives. All too often, the very quest for happiness becomes the source of our suffering. This dynamic plays out again and again in our daily lives. The things we think will bring us happiness, a good job, a loving relationship, good health, a nice house, a reliable car, quality recreation, a rewarding social life. Well, they actually become the cause of our stress, worries, and concerns. How is this possible? We live in a time of incredible abundance and luxury. We have the ability to moderate the temperature of our homes, to summon the collective knowledge of the world on our smartphones, to access entertainment at the touch of a button, and even to adjust the firmness of our beds. Yet, despite all of the creature comforts available to us, it seems we have more mental, emotional, and physical problems than ever. I have found this incredibly fascinating. In my own lifetime, have had the opportunity to be homeless, to live under a bridge, um, to be a homeowner, to have a nice house. I've lived in refugee settlements in India. There was a period of my life where I was a Buddhist monk, a very simple life. And in this experience of mine, I have got to see how our human minds can grasp onto seeking happiness in things that cannot provide it. The house, the job, the car, the relationships, the social life, etc. The things that we get some pleasure from. Well, they can provide some pleasure, but they can't provide a lasting sense of genuine happiness and well-being in our lives. They will come and go. And you may recognize that. People are healthy, have a great social life, have a nice house, who also have stress, worry, fear, and anxiety. Life is actually a messy place for all of us. And those things, the stable job, the car that starts every day, the social life, and the friends that we develop, well, we can actually be in good health, have a nice job, have a house we feel pretty good about. And we can also have a lot of mental and emotional suffering, stress, worry, fear, anxiety, and sleepless nights. Today, in the situation we find ourselves in, we might notice some overwhelm and fear. Well, this is a good time for clarity. That it's not the things, the events, the people that we're striving for that we find some pleasure in that can provide any sense of lasting happiness. It's what we do in the house. It's how we show up for the people in our lives. It's how we engage in our lives that can provide that sense of well-being. Are we living a life that we find meaningful, purposeful? It's not doing things that make me feel good that provides lasting happiness. It's doing things I feel good about. And as long as I'm trying to accomplish cultivating happiness by getting things to line up the way I would like, I'm going to suffer a lot. The things that I think will provide me happiness, family, home, job, relationship. Well, what do we stress and worry about the most? Family, house, job, etc. It's not those things. It's how we show up in our lives. It's how we show up for work and what we do and how we treat our colleagues. It's how do we show up for our family. It's what are we doing in our lives that we feel good about, that's in alignment with our deepest values. All these things can come and go. At the end of our lives, what's going to matter is how we lived our lives. And did we live it in a way that we find meaningful? The ability to have a sense of well-being, a sense of worthiness and value comes from doing worthy and valuable things. And this can be done whether we're in a refugee camp in India, whether we're in a nice home, whether we have air conditioning or not, whether I'm ill or not. How I show up for the events in my life, whether they're difficult or whether they're joyful, is the way we discover genuine happiness and well-being. And right now, we have an opportunity to cut through a lot of confusion and find real clarity. What is meaningful to you? Right now, we get a real good opportunity to ask that question. And I've found it inspiring. I have seen humanity coming together in new ways and really asking that question. People discovering that it's important to show up for each other. One of my friends was just sharing in a very simple way that their neighborhood comes out for a happy hour every evening. Not just drinking, but a happy hour to share with each other. And they set chairs out in the street and they stay an appropriate distance. And they've been getting to know each other. Families who normally don't get together very often, live in different parts of the country. Well, they've been coming together on video conferencing and reconnecting. Some people have reached out to friends they haven't talked to in a while. Other people have responded to those who are ill and made sure that they're getting their needs met. People have been delivering food and supplies to the elderly. There's so much going on right now where we can be cultivating meaning and purpose in our lives and doing things that we feel good about. This is the real source of lasting happiness and well-being. So today I just thought I would invite everyone to take a little time out to reflect on what makes your life meaningful. How can you be helpful? What are some of the things that you can engage in during these times that you'll feel good about? And I'll tell you what, sometimes that can be as simple as staying home. So right now, staying home is one of the most loving things that we can do, one of the most helpful things that we can do. But it also might be making that really cool dance video that you've been just dying to do, that you can share with some friends and bring some laughter into their lives. One of the things that I do that I think is really important is I really work on maintaining a sense of well-being in my life, and that means that I need some happiness. So when I walk home or take a little walk, I make sure I skip a little. It's I think one of the healthiest things that I can do in my day is to skip. So when I skip, I bring a smile to my face, my energy changes, and I remember not to take my life too seriously. That laughter is an important part of the language of the heart. So I encourage you to skip a little bit as well, but deeply reflect on what's the real source of your lasting happiness. Is it the things in your life or the way that you show up for the people in your life? And what can you do today that you'll feel good about? I hope you found today's message helpful. Thanks so much for making a difference in the world.